For this project, we decided to create our own type of a siding panel since nothing was commercially available. So using 4x8 sheets of 3/4 inch PVC, we laid out some grooves in the panel mathematically so that they'd all be even. And we're going to run a 1/2 inch router bit through the panels. And at this point, I'm marking off the panel. And then what I'll do is, after I've got all the layout done correctly, we'll duplicate each panel by using a story pole. So we transfer the marks to the story pole. That will allow us to consistently recreate the same grooves in every single panel as we proceed with the project. From there, we set up a rail, and I have the router that fits onto that rail. Just lined up our marks on our story pole, and we're able to run the router through. We repeated that on 5 sheets of 3/4 inch of PVC to create our own siding. And it really came out kind of neat. So we cleaned the panels with the vinyl clean. We had to get all the grease and any contaminants off the surface for the paint to bond properly. So cleaning is really one of the most important steps. Like anything for a good paint job is the preparation. Now what we're going to do is apply the Grain X and apply the wood grain. So the Grain X goes on first, and then we're going to shoot it with a top coat stain later. And what we want to look for is a weathered wood look. So the Grain X is the first part that goes on, and what we do is we just apply it to the, we're going to apply our Grain X across our PVC sheet and just get it on there for right now. I'm not going to try to do any wood graining until I get enough of it on. You can put it on with a sponge, a brush, anything you want. You'll get the feel for how much you need to put on the surface in order to get the grain out. This is just going to give it the wood grain look. Just rock my graining tool back and forth as I go down the board. Let the panels dry overnight and prepared to install them on the wall by putting some lamellos on some of the joints that we had. We only had a couple of them, and this would make the panels sit nice and flat in registration with each other. Now come on in. Hang on, line them up. Go ahead, push, click.
Sweet. That was awesome.
So we reapplied vinyl clean and re-cleaned all our panels before we get ready to apply the finished coat. So we're getting ready to put the top coat on. This is it's a tinted top coat, so it'll be a one-step process. We don't have to go over it with a clear coat when we're finished. We're going to make sure we mix it up really, really good. We've had a few days for the stain to set in, so it's nice and dry. And what we decided to do is we decided to stain the material on the bench, then install it. Rather than try to pre-finish everything, that allowed us to be able to cover up all the plugs with the stain so we could hide a lot of the plugs. We need to strain it first before we put it into our gun. We're going to spray with the Graco HVLP. I converted all of my guns. I've got about 3 HVLP heads. This is the Graco that I got with the machine. I like this is a good gun. I'm not quite as used to it as I am my original gun, which was a Titan. So I'm probably just out of comfort. I'm going to shoot with the Titan today. And I've converted them all to the PPS system, which is, if you're spraying, you don't want to be spraying out of a can. This is the best way to do it. Put a liner in our cup. We're just going to fill this completely up. The nice thing about the PPS system is that you can shoot upside down. You don't have to worry about a gravity feed. Strainer in the cup, which is additional filtration for you. We need to pressurize the bottom of the can from the gun. So I'll do that. So in my career, I've been through 3 HVLP turbines. This is the best by far that I've ever had. That's the Finish Pro. And what I like about it has an auto stop. It's a smart stop and start. So when I turn the gun off, it'll actually just shut down. I can also control the turbo speed, which is another advantage to have turbo. And it really works well. So what we're going to do is a pet spray first. We're going to take one of the pieces, the cutoff that we stained already, and then we're going to see if we like it when we shoot it. That looks nice.
Yeah, definitely seems different. It's real nice.
See how it tones it?
Yeah.
You don't want to stain the inside of the cut here because it really wouldn't stain well. It would just absorb all that color. So we're going to hit the finish on the seams first, wipe off the surface, and then we'll come back and we'll hit it in one piece. So that's what we're going to do is just all of our grooves first. So we rolling?
Yep.
Good?
Yep.
And just come back and wipe it off the top surface. That's going to give it a much nicer look. Holding my gun about 4 to 6 inches off the surface of the panels. We made steady back and forth passes on our panels and just enough color to give it a nice weathered look, and that will protect the stain and it will also give us your top coat finish.